Crazy.
Oh, we're live. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Whoa. All right. Technical difficulties as usual with Skeleton Key Network. Um, so I'm on my phone trying to make it sit right. Stay. um, and so I'm going to keep trying to get back on with the computer, but we'll see what
Okay.
happens. So, um, there we go. Alrighty then. Here I am. I feel a bit flustered today, but it's okay. It'll go just fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's partly the weather.
Yeah.
I know everybody here at our house. I love storms, but I
Hmm.
still feel a little flustered. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
just the
I
storms
do
are,
too. It's the rain. It's something about having the rain,
yeah.
beating down. I had a leaking roof for a while, and
No.
it was causing a lot of damage. So every time it would rain, I'd just want to cry, because I knew
Mhm.
how much damage was getting done underneath it, the roof in my house, and it was like
Yeah,
terrible. So,
yeah.
okay, my phone's gonna fall over if I move. So I'm just gonna pick it up and get myself all situated here with everything, so then I don't have to move around a lot again. It's been one of those mornings though, and you kind of feel the same. So I wonder um, who else is feeling that way, and if you're feeling a bit flustered and it's been one of them days for you, send us a message at skeletonkeywitches at gmail.com, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. And I grabbed some cards just in case we want to pull some cards for people at the end. I've got my fairy oracle cards.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just whatever we get to. I just had him here just in case.
Okay. And stones. We were going to talk about stones and stuff today, because I think people need to figure out how to ground themselves and stuff like that, and just how to increase their vibrations, because
Yes.
that is important. And it's so silly though. It's really so easy sometimes to do these things that it's
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like, really, that's all I had to do.
Right. It
you know
is. We get it stuck in our head that everything spiritual has to be hard.
well, yeah, and I think that that's conditioning from Christianity.
Yes.
Honestly, you got to go through the priest, because it's just so complex and there's so many things to know that regular people like us wouldn't understand.
Right. Well, I even see that in like the spiritual realm. I was at a retreat once and
Uh-huh.
it was being ran by a shaman. And she was literally telling it, she was bashing the Christian religion. And then she was telling everybody, well, you can't find out your own spirit animal. I have to find that out for you.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck? My guide showed me my own spirit animal when I was just awakening. I'm like, anybody can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Anybody can be their own spiritual, shaman.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. Anybody can be their own shaman.
Yep.
And you don't have to have any intercession to talk to God, or to be a part of the world and the spiritual realm,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yep.
uh,
I think we give away our power when we aren't. Like,
we
yeah,
do.
I get it. Like there's times that I really need like clarity on something and I'm
Hmm.
too close to it. So even if I pull out all my cards, I'm still going to read what I want into it. That's when I reach out to somebody else and I'm like, okay, I need you to tell me exactly what you're getting.
Hmm.
But that's kind of different. Like we're not giving away our power. We're just kind of like, I'm too close to this
We're
and I
just
need,
guidance. I think
yeah,
seeking guidance doesn't necessarily give away your power.
no.
I think it's just I think maybe even adds to it,
Mm-hmm.
seek guidance, because it's because you realize that the universe has a lot of secrets that you don't know, and maybe someone else can help you get through those things.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
well, here talking about stones. Here's the one I'll start with. My laboradite. It is.
Okay.
it was sent to me by my friend in Alabama, Terry, the one that she's running our stream today. So, and she polished it and cut the cab herself.
Mm,
Lapidary Society in Alabama. So,
wow.
yeah. So thank you, Terry. This is something I carry with me every single day of my life in my little pouch of stones. So.
Mm. That's cool that she cuts it and everything herself.
Yeah, isn't that neat? I just thought that was so great. And so it's something that I keep, special, and I keep it with me all the time because it's a good grounding stone. And
Right.
it'll keep you kind of, in that frame of mind of just keeping it real.
Yeah. Well, I just got this not long ago. Where was it? Oh, I was at the Chakra Tree in Rock Falls. This
Uh-huh.
is cherry quartz. And I
Neat.
got it specifically to work with the goddess Lolita. And you look at it and it's like a galaxy. Like
Yes.
it's like you're viewing from it, but I can totally use it as a crystal ball as well.
Yeah.
And so that's my newest find.
Keep talking crystals for a second. I'm going to go get my newest find. I forgot. It's in the
Oh,
car. Be right.
yeah. So I actually am a certified crystal healer, and when I was taking the course, I learned all about crystals and how they grow in the ground. And they actually like grow in families, like they're a family system. They have their own consciousness. And so, as they're growing, they're considered like brothers and sisters inside there. And some crystals have feminine qualities, some have masculine, some are balanced, and like just all the different things about them that they actually like soak in all of the energy of the earth when they're growing, and then they can share that with us. And I often like will look at like a beautiful cluster of crystals or just like a single crystal, and I'll think, oh my God, when they mined this, they took it away from its family. And I felt kind of bad because like when I was telling everybody I'm a certified crystal healer, and when I was taking the course, they say that they grow in families, like
Oh.
each one, and they're considered family. And so I kind of feel bad about separating them, but we need them. So
See, Druzies are kind of like a family because they
yeah.
attach to other stones. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're going to grow in their own little colony on other stones.
Right.
But Druzies are good for healing.
Yeah.
Here is and maybe you can help me with this. It's right here. And it looks a little bit green in the picture, but it's really like gray and
Yeah.
black. It's like shades of gray and black with like iridescent spots in it,
I
like
think that's Gabbro.
gabbro.
Yeah, it's actually like a false Merlinite. Like wait. Yeah. So it's also called, I believe, false Merlinite, but it connects you with Merlin.
Oh, okay, so
When
Merlin. Okay, so
Yeah.
like Merlin the magician.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. And then I already had this little stand, so
Perfect.
I put it in the little stand.
Yeah. So I have a friend who, well, like Merlin's always at our house because he's my husband's main spirit guide.
Oh,
But my friend wanted to start working with him, and so she channels, and he told her to get a Gabbro and a piece of organite with a specific, I think it had Gabbro in it. And
okay.
he told her to stack them on top of each other. And
Uh,
so he's always at her house chatting with her now.
oh,
So, like,
that's funny.
you put stuff around like that that's connected, he's probably there talking to you. You may not even know it.
Maybe. I have this, which
Mm.
it's oh gosh, it's purple.
Oh, amethyst?
Amethyst, thank you. I pulled a blank for a minute. Yeah, but there's amethyst and quartz in the in
Yes,
yeah, it's gorgeous. I love this thing.
it is.
Yeah.
I have
So
my amethyst skull here. This is the first skull I got, but I have a whole collection now. But I love these. They're like the skulls are like portals into other realms.
oh,
And
okay.
then actually like you can access like I think with the amethyst skull you can access like the wisdom of Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so skulls are kind of cool. I just want to keep buying more. Every time I go to the Little Rock and Gem shop there in Rock Island,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, they have a little bowl at the counter like
Uh-huh.
all these little skulls like this big and they're $5. And I'm just like, I
You
don't
should,
have that one. I don't have that one.
I make it, I could meet you there or something maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to,
I love their shop.
yeah, that I haven't been to a place like that for a while. There's another one over here in Davenport too, um,
Yeah.
on Brady Street.
What's
So
that one? What was that one called?
it's like Rock and Gem or something like that. Um,
Oh, okay. I've never been to that one, but I don't drive in Davenport very often. So,
once in a while. Here's a tiger's eye. Tiger's
hmm
eye are good for protection, and I keep it in my little pouch as part of my little, you know, band of of stones that I keep around all the time. And then
hmm
I got like a box of all tiny little iron pyrites like that, and so I've been giving
Right.
them to people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great to make a money bowl too. If you've never, have you made a money bowl?
I have not. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, fool's gold. I just like it because it's sparkly.
hmm
Not even gonna lie. So, and then I have, of course, a piece of obsidian. I think that's what this is. I picked it up off the beach. Um, right there.
Hmm.
So, and I think it's obsidian. I'm pretty sure. But that's for depression. It
Yeah.
keeps you uplifted a bit more, and so you can stay out of that depressive state. Because for me, not even gonna lie, I have to fight it all the time. I mean, I get in these moods where it's like nothing's gonna go right, and I try to shake it off real fast now because I used to kind of wallow in it a bit, but anymore it's like I've learned the faster you can shake that shit off, the better off your life is going to be. And, don't let those negative vibes, come and take over with you, because you'll backslide into everything that you, hated doing before, and
hmm
and it's just nowhere to be. So shake
Right.
it off as fast as you can, no matter what
Yeah.
to do. So,
Now, I got this piece of fluorite when I was in Pennsylvania, and I'd never seen fluorite cut in like that shape.
uh-huh,
But I really like this one.
uh-huh.
It's got a lot of green and purple. Sometimes you'll see them and they'll just be like one or the other, and you don't get a lot of that good mixture. But that one's,
That's fluorite, you said.
yep.
I'm thinking of fluorspar. Fluorspar is something that's it's actually like a byproduct of mining. I think they mine limestone, and they get they'll dig out fluorspar too, especially in Kentucky, like
Oh,
North Kentucky. There's a lot of fluorspar, and it's purple as well. So,
yeah. I want to go like actually look for crystals. Like I
uh,
know in Arkansas you can find like quartz, and a
uh-huh.
friend goes over like on Lake Michigan by Chicago to a specific beach, and she finds like unakite and things like that. And I just
That,
think that would be so cool to
well, I
actually find them
go
yourself.
to the beach down here and find stuff like fire agates. I can find fire
Oh
agates.
wow, where do you find those at?
Just on the beach down in front of my house. I can find all kinds of stuff,
Seriously.
stones and rocks and all kinds of stuff. I'm still identifying a lot of it,
Right.
because most of the time we see stuff, it's in, it's been polished and cut.
Right.
So sometimes in its natural state, it's a little bit more difficult, or at least for me to
Mm-hmm.
identify it.
Yeah.
So, but in my little pouch as well, I carry a piece of nutmeg,
Oh,
a little nutmeg. I
for
can't even.
abundance? Is that what it's for?
We're having a little audio difficulty. I don't know if it's me or what's going. If it's just the internet, it could be the goofy ass internet today, because it's shitty, and so then the signal doesn't travel very good, because I have wireless. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's like your phone. Here is a piece of moonstone.
Oh,
Yeah, it's nice, and it's a little cut stone too.
That's pretty.
I should put it in a pendant or something, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of cut stones. Um, and I think this is like rose quartz. I think, but I'm not sure.
Um, Rose quartz you can't see through.
Okay, so then it's probably just
Just a regular
yeah.
quartz,
I have
probably.
this one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really nice. That's quartz, right? That's
Yeah,
not like okay. That's a
it,
really nice one.
it could be moissanite. I think they call it. Um, I'm not sure. See, that's the thing. I'm just not sure. But I have a few of these cut stones, and they're just so gorgeous. This one's really neat, the blue one.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Yeah. Sometimes I use them to scry. I have like
Mm-hmm.
bigger ones, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they're glass. They're not really crystal, but
Mm-hmm.
something about the facets of them when you look inside of it, I see like people who've gone on. I don't know if it's my imagination or if it's reflection or if it's real. I don't know, but in my mind, I see people who've passed on. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I say it's real.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that's it's hard for people to decide a lot of times because it's like you just don't know how to verify anything like that. And so it's tough to kind of get your mind around, well, was that real? And I'm sure
Right.
I'm the only one that's experienced that.
Yeah, well, we're taught to not use our imagination. Like we reach a certain age and they're like, okay, you've got to be logical, you got to get to real life. But like I find as like a healer and a channeler, the place where all that magic happens is in your imagination.
Yes,
That's your
really.
creative spiritual aspect. So if you can imagine it, you can do it.
Yes, and I agree with that 100%. And that's where everything comes from is our imagination, creativity and anything manifestation, all of it comes from that part of us that is that dares to dream,
Mm-hmm.
and imagines that the impossible is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that we have to stay in touch with that. And that's our inner child, too. It's important to
Yes.
feed that inner child because they're the one that doesn't doesn't know yet that things aren't possible, quote
Right.
unquote.
Right.
They
Now,
think
this
anything's possible.
this Super 7 I got over at the Little Rock and Gem Shop, and they have it really reasonably priced, but Super
Uh-huh.
7 is like seven different stones in one, and it's for psychic ability.
Oh,
So like
wow.
you can keep it beside your bed or put it in your pillow,
Uh-huh.
and it helps open your third eye and all your clairs.
Nice. Um, Tanzanite is another thing that it
Oh
well,
yeah.
in your third eye. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of tanzanite, like I'll wear tanzanite earrings or something like that. I have
Right.
a ring. I have it as part of another thing, bracelet or something like that. So yeah, I wear tanzanite frequently. So
That kind of is that yellow or light blue, tealish? Which is
but
it?
it's kind of bluish purple.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's pretty.
I,
So
I think I bought a piece of it, but then and because I was so intrigued with it, but I
uh-huh.
think I gave it away because
Oh,
someone else needed it. So
yeah,
that happens with crystals.
great. I don't know what this is exactly. It's I think it's some kind of an agate, but I'm
Is
not
it
sure.
is it blue? Light blue?
It's like a kind of it's more white, really like a whitish blue.
Well, yeah, a whitish blue. It's either blue lace agate, which is kind of looking like to me that it is because there's more bluer colors, but then I found some that have more white.
Yeah, this
But
is quite a bit of white in it.
yeah, I've also had some pieces of Botswana agate that were more white, but
Uh-huh.
it was more of I know, creamy. It wasn't blue.
Okay.
It didn't have that blue mixed in. So,
Speaking of blue, I think this is an actual piece of lapis.
ooh,
So it's very blue. It's like
that's
dark blue.
beautiful.
Thank you. I like it. And lapis is oh gosh, what were the benefits of that again? I know they used to use it and they'd crush it to make paint, blue paint.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
it's third eye,
okay.
but it can also help with your like your crown chakra.
Uh-huh.
But I'm trying to remember. There's just so many of them. I can't remember everything they do.
I know it's hard, isn't it? And I try to learn a different one all the time, just to sort of, get a handle on it because there are
Right.
so
Yeah.
many ones. And then I'm not sure about this one. It's blue and
Oh, that's sodalite, I think.
sodalite. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a piece of aventurine as well.
Mm.
Aventurine's a good one. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this is carnelian. It's pretty orange.
Well, carnelian usually is kind of opaque. Is that opaque or because that looks kind of like red jasper to me?
Oh, well, I suppose it could be. It is not opaque. You can't see through it at all.
Yeah, see, I think that's red jasper. Like carnelians will have like different inclusions, like stripes, and then yes, there's your carnelian. It's more opaque. Yep.
I knew I had a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't sure which one it was.
Yeah,
Or,
I went to when I was at the chocolate tree, I was looking at their runes and I was so drawn to this. I got a whole set of runes on carnelian. These things are so beautiful.
they
I
are.
absolutely love them and they're all so small. They
Uh-huh.
just and I'm learning runes.
Nice.
But yeah, carnelian is just like to me, I've
Hmm.
always been afraid of carnelian
Why?
because I think sometimes when we need a stone really badly,
Uh-huh.
we kind of like, oh, that's, and so I've had a lot of work done. Like I've done a lot of work in my sacral where these help, and I think it's just been overwhelming for me. But I
Uh-huh.
guess I'm over that now because when I saw these, I told myself I'd never buy carnelian runes, but I just had to.
Well, and sometimes it's your innate way of telling you need you really do, you know.
Yep.
As chiropractors, we learn that what's in here is your innate intelligence. It's what's inside
Mm-hmm.
you that is like it's like keeps homeostasis going. It tells you it alarms you when something's wrong.
Right.
Things like that. And your innate intelligence is basically like when you take your upper brain out of it and you just go with your gut and what you feel. That's
Right.
using your innate intelligence. So
Mm-hmm.
I think people they don't trust it. They don't trust themselves. And that's why they don't listen to their innate when it's trying to tell them something.
Yep.
So, because they just don't trust themselves to have the answers. And it goes
Yep.
back to thinking that we got to have someone else tell us what we need or tell us
Exactly.
when we really inside of ourselves know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That
Yeah,
that's a hard one to learn.
it is a hard one to learn. And it takes a long time, I think. And it just is like you have to it's like trial and error kind of. Once you learn that, gosh, I do have what it takes to keep myself, on track.
Right.
Yeah. You can
Yep.
It's hard though some days. And like today with the rain and stuff, it was kind of tough to get myself going. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't want to get out of bed and wake up, but I at least woke up. I'm not out of bed.
Yep. Well, I also think that full moon being a super moon, oh my gosh. Like I thought I was the only one having trouble getting to sleep last night, but it wasn't just me. Like even my 15-year-old, she said she just laid there half the night and she couldn't sleep. So I think that full moon is just kind of making it. I don't like full moons. I mean, I did a ritual, but I just don't sleep well when there's a full moon.
And there's a lot of energy, that comes up with those, and especially a super moon. Gosh, yeah,
Hmm.
it's almost like manic depressive kind of, because
Yeah, it can feel like that.
at the full moon, and then it's got, it starts to wane, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, that's funny. So,
Yeah.
do you find that you like tend to do things with the cycles of the moon?
Well, I'm really getting into it more. Like,
Uh-huh.
I had a friend over. My husband built us a bonfire, and we pulled our cards. Like I have the Moonology deck, so then it kind of helps you figure out what are you releasing for the full moon, and then we wrote down what we're releasing and we put it in the fire.
Uh-huh.
And then so we just started a coven actually, and so on the new moon, the 27th of this month, we're going to start actually gathering as a group to
Okay.
start like doing intentions and stuff like that. Because I just,
Manifestation. You start your manifestations on the
yeah,
new. Yeah.
yep, yep. So I think if we can just get into that flow, like I
Uh-huh.
was just thinking this morning, I'm like, I need to get out my planner I use for my business and I need to like put, okay, this day is a new moon, this day is a full moon, because like even in my groups and stuff like that, I want to help people to be aware that that's happening and like pull a card. So what is the focus like for this moon?
Hmm.
And just start getting people aware because when I do readings for people, the moon is always coming through.
Yeah.
Get with the flow of the moon because then you're getting in touch with the earth because the earth is totally in touch with the moon and all of those cycles, and we can use our magic so much and in so many different ways when we're in touch with it.
If you aren't trying to swim upstream, so to
Yes,
speak. You know?
exactly.
Yeah, I think it definitely is more effective.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're talking about planners, so I get mine out because I didn't want to forget anything. So um, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm doing good here. I just wanted to make sure if had any announcements or anything that I get those out. But you said the 27th is the new moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to write that down because that's always a good time, to do a lot of things, like start things.
Right.
You're going to
Exactly.
then, you should probably do it on the full moon because it probably gives it more power.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, that's awesome that you helped me identify this. I just got it yesterday and it's so darn heavy. I thought at first it was granite. But it's just so darn heavy that and I put it in my backpack, my little tiny strappy backpack that I use like it's a purse really. And
Right.
I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna drop the whole thing's gonna drop off my back on the
Yeah.
motorcycle down the street. And then I had this poster of Jim Morrison and the Doors. It's like a concert poster strapped to the front of the bike. So I had that on the front, and I had this backpack loaded down in the on my back, and then I dragged my motorcycle home. So I didn't go too far. So it was
Yeah, those big round ones are pretty heavy.
yeah, it is pretty heavy. But it's so cool, and I hadn't ever really seen one like just around, and
Mm-hmm.
just at like a little resale shop here in the neighborhood, and
Yeah.
I don't usually see stuff like that, so it was kind of
Right.
cool to find it
Yeah.
there. Only $5.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah, way.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if you look up like that, if you look up the spiritual things you can do with it, I'm thinking if I remember right, it helps you to really get in touch with like your higher self, the higher realms, like all of that psychic stuff.
Okay.
It's very powerful, but I think it's also a grounding stone. Of course, most black things are very grounding,
Yeah,
but
like they help you fight depression and things like that, and keep you
mm-hmm,
upbeat more.
right.
That's good. Find a lot of obsidian like out front, because it is like volcanic, um, and so it probably comes down from the glaciers and stuff.
Right.
Because a lot of the water in the Mississippi was once part of a glacier.
Right.
And the rocks and things then that come down too are these tiny, sometimes like there'll be these teeny tiny little things, and they've just been crushed and ground upon for
Yeah.
millennia, And it's just fun to collect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I make these little bottles of these tiny little pretty rocks, and
Mm-hmm.
I call them grounding bottles because,
Oh,
if you were somewhere like in the city and you didn't have any,
yeah.
place to go, you could pour these on the carpet and just like, put your feet on them and
Right.
roll around and stuff and
Yeah.
call it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, or just hold them in your hand and roll them around. I oftentimes will take crystals and just roll them around in my hand for like a you know like a nervous thing. I used
Right.
to smoke, and then after that I ate too much. So I always am like this. I have to have something to do with my hands all the time.
Right.
And so the rocks are nice because I can kind of jingle them around in my hand, and it keeps my hands busy. So.
Right.
I
Yeah.
always have a craft or a project or something.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't keep my hands busy, I'll start doing this with them.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, I just got to stay busy with other things. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a learning process. Figuring out, like why do I smoke? Why do I overeat? Why do I do all these things? And it was just in a attempt to keep my hands busy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I realized like after we moved here, I was like snacking all the time and I just had to stop. I said, why am I doing this? And I realized I was doing it to make myself feel better because I was like having so much guilt,
Hmm.
like about relationships that I walked away from.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, I am eating to try and make myself feel better.
Yeah.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, okay, well, that's got to go
Yeah.
because that is not a way to handle it, right?
Right. Oh, and I
Yeah.
did the same, I would stuff my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I, did that, then I didn't have to really experience them, fully.
Yep.
And I think that was wrong, and I shouldn't have done that. And really, we have to view food as fuel. It's fuel for our bodies. It's not entertainment. It's not anything else. It's just fuel, keeps us running. And we have to, be mindful of the things that we put in. If you live on junk food, your body is not going to run right. It's not going to do its optimum best.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to feel right, in body and soul. You're just not going to feel right if you're full of these crappy ass chemicals that they put in food nowadays.
Yeah.
Go around the outside of the grocery store and don't even visit the middle aisles unless you got
Right.
flour, sugar, baking soda, whatever. Just stick to the outside. round the
Yeah.
outside, round the outside, round the outside.
Mhm.
M&M fans will know what I'm talking about. Oh Lord. That's funny though. The Trailer Park Girls. Have you ever watched the Trailer Park Boys? I know this is off subject.
No, no. My cousin said she watched it and they said it was hilarious. And
Yeah.
we just haven't tried anything new. We're still like we're really into like science fiction and we just finished up Stranger Things again, but I'd like to try new things,
Uh-huh.
watch new things.
Yes. See, I don't watch television anymore. I haven't watched TV in about 3 years. Not like sat and watched a television program or a movie. I had Bohemian Rhapsody in my player for 3 months, and still have not watched that movie. And that was like 2 years ago or more. So yeah, I kept saying I want to watch that movie. I never did. So I stay busy with other stuff. So many things going on in the world and in my personal life that I really find I don't have time for that. I don't know how I made time for stuff before, with the TV.
Right. It's like when you get to a new level and you're like, how did I have time when I did that?
Hmm.
And it just blows your mind away.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to get back on the workouts again too. I did a Ask Madam, and I took him through a workout basically. Certain things. I have like circuits, like stations, so I can go around the house and
Oh,
and I can do these circuits, and
right.
it makes it more fun because
Mm-hmm.
you're doing stuff, that's I don't know, just it's different. And running up and down the stairs is always good.
Yeah.
I told my mother, she'd say, "Well, that's too many trips up and down the stairs," and I'd be like, don't don't meter yourself when it comes to the stairs.
Right.
If you have to take 15 trips up the stairs, go for it. Do it because it's healthy. It's
Yeah.
what people are meant to do. We're meant to
Mm-hmm.
be on the move. We're meant to be dynamic individuals. I used to tell my patients that you are a dynamic individual. And they'd be like, thanks. But
I love chiropractors. I can so totally see you being a chiropractor.
yeah, I love taking care of people. And I loved it when I was able to help them and help them realize their full potential. Or, if they came in and they weren't feeling well, and, to see them come back smiling and happy and, fulfilled, that was a huge reward for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I'm helping people in a different way, it's maybe more spiritually now than physically. But I think I still have offered,
Yeah.
help to people, and it's what
Yeah.
I do. I'm a people pleaser. So yeah, but with the whole madam thing, it's not about me pleasing them, it's about them pleasing me. And but it's symbiotic. If
Mm-hmm.
I want the people around me to be happy, so
Right.
then I do things that'll make them feel happy, or fulfilled, and
Right.
so they can be happy. And because really, happiness comes from within. You can't make somebody happy. You
Right.
have to help them find their own way to happiness. And and a lot of it is on them. You can't make happiness for someone.
No.
It's a futile effort if you try.
Yeah. It becomes codependency,
Yes.
and that's not good.
No, or you're enabling them,
Yeah.
in their bad behavior in an attempt to try and make them happy.
Yeah.
And that's no good either.
No.
So I was gonna see, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at the chat. Let's take a look there. Because I have to do it from the phone. Oh, Wayne Gallwell says, "Hey ladies," and I say, "Hey Wayne."
Hi,
How's it?
Wayne.
And Brian Horton says, "Hey Miss Robin." Hey, how's it going? Let's see. Debbie Wallace Hogan says, "Hey, everybody." Hey, Debbie. And Andrew says, "Hey, girls." Hi, Andrew. Chantel, hello from South Africa, ladies. Well, hello to you too, Chantel. Nice to see you again. And Charles Rudd says, "Hello, ladies from Texas." And we say, "Hello, Charles,
Whoa.
from Iowa." Well, and you're in
Oh,
Illinois,
yep.
so. Iowa and Illinois. So there we go. So then that catches us up with the chat portion. It's when you use your phone, it's kind of a pain in the neck because you
Yeah.
can't see the chats as they come up.
Nope.
So are you on your phone? Or are you on?
Yeah. I always use my phone to stream.
Okay, yeah, I usually use my laptop, but today not so much. I could try it again, but I think what I need to do is just go through and do the cleaner too.
Right.
It starts to run slow. I
Yeah.
think more memory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, tell us, do you have something coming up here anytime soon? Well, your coven is meeting on the new moon.
Yeah. We're doing that. I'm going to be doing some more book signings and,
Where are those going to be?
well, one's going to be in Rock Falls and then the other one is going to be at Spellbound.
Okay, that's here in
Yeah.
Rock
Yeah.
Island.
In Rock Island. Yep.
Awesome. Maybe I'll have to jump over and see ya.
Yeah. And
When
putting
is
together what?
when is the one at Spellbound?
I don't know yet. I just got in touch with her and she said she'd like to do it. And I sent her my book in an ebook book format so she can read it.
Okay.
So she said she's interested in selling it there and also doing a signing.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, and then Lionsgate Portal is coming up August 8th.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm putting together a big event with that. Like I have like a group of about 8 other healers and channelers who we put together like big events on those main portals and stuff. And so that's like it's a portal to Sirius, the
Mm-hmm.
star. And it's a huge manifestation time.
Okay.
Yeah.
When,
So
when is that again, the manifestation time?
August 8th.
August
It's
8th. Okay.
8. It's always 8/8 every year is the Lionsgate portal.
Oh, okay. Lionsgate Portal. I'll put that on here. I had not heard of that before, so I'll check that out.
Yeah.
And manifestation. I've only been doing this for like seriously for 2 or 3 years now, and so I mean I'm still learning a ton. And
It's never going to stop.
oh no,
It just didn't.
well, and there's so much out there to learn. It's like I don't think you could ever learn like everything, that you
Mm-mm.
are interested in, um
Right.
there's just so much stuff that's so cool out there in the universe,
Right.
um that it's incredible. And it doesn't surprise me that we need more than one lifetime to
Right.
experience it all.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I mean, I don't know if people are into past lives or reincarnation or anything like that, but I think we definitely become other beings. Like we don't have the same physical qualities that we have,
Right.
but I think we're still entities or beings unto ourselves.
Yep.
you know but we also belong to the collective, the creator, we can participate in the collective, um,
Yes.
as well. So, and that's
Mhm.
why I think we need that nexus, that connection to
Yes.
other people and other places, beyond ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
I
why
totally
people
agree.
astral plane, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Have you ever done anything like that?
Astral traveled.
Hmm.
I used to do it all the time, like not even knowing. I would do it at night,
Uh-huh.
which a lot of us normally do. Like when we sleep, we leave the 3D and we go to the 4D.
Uh-huh.
But I had to put a stop to it because I was picking up so many lost souls
Mm.
that I was constantly have to clearing them. And
Oh, wow.
it, I mean, they're not bad. They just don't know they're dead or they don't know
Mhm.
what's going on. But it was just like I was so exhausted from it all the time
Oh,
that
yeah.
I finally just kind of had to set the rule when I go to sleep.
Not sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's not because when we go into that astral realm, we can go into the future, we can go into the past,
Mhm.
we can fight battles, we can sit and teach somebody something. We don't know what all we're doing
Right.
in the spiritual realm, right? And so, yeah, I literally like made the rule in my house. I'm like, guys, we're not astral traveling. I know there's people that need help, but I need my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Uh,
But like just like in general, just like sitting down and meditating and going outside of my body, I've done it some, but it's not really my thing.
mhm.
It's fascinating when I do it,
Yeah.
but I just have so many other things to do. I just don't feel like sitting around and doing that all the time. So
A hard time sitting still for a very,
I know,
extended
me
period.
too.
So then meditation is really a challenge for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have to sit still, let my mind just, wander, just let it, flow. And for me, that's really hard to let go of this, realm to go on to another, and
Right.
meditate and stuff. And I have a bit of trouble with that. So, but I'm working on it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
doing
all you can do.
stuff, and then I'm doing like we talked about like my own forest,
Right.
and so then I envision, the place, and I go there and I open the gate, and you go through
Yeah.
and all that, and kind of You do that so that it takes you to that place. And
Right.
you know,
Yeah, guided meditations are so much easier than just sitting there and trying to tune out for a half hour.
yeah,
I can't do the tuning out at all.
yeah. My uncle he'd sit down in the chair and he'd say, "Well, I need to meditate," and we'd say, "Okay." He'd sit down in the chair and he'd close his eyes, and within just a few minutes, you'd hear,
Yeah. I guess that is a form of meditating.
"Uncle is meditating. Let's be quiet." Oh, he was great. My Uncle Bert, he was a great guy. Really great. He was a good husband. He took care of his wife. She'd had rheumatic fever, so she had a lot of physical ailments after that, and
Mm-hmm.
with her heart and stuff. And then but he always took care. He'd bring her a tray for lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever,
Aw.
and he would say things like, "I brought your lunch, my love."
Aw.
So he was so wonderful. He was a great husband, great father, always fair, never. I think my cousin got spanked maybe a couple times, and he was a naughty brat.
He probably deserved it, right?
Redhead. He was a redhead. Sorry,
Oh.
but he was a redhead, and he was a bit,
Mm-hmm.
sure. He liked to play jokes on people and stuff, so he'd get in trouble a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, he did get spanked one time for not sharing his toys with me. So he was adamant he did not want to share his GI Joes, and Uncle was like, "No, that's not going to fly."
Oh my. Gosh, G.I. Joes, that's so long ago. I remember those.
He had great ones. He had like the boat, really had a little working motor and stuff, and he had all the clothes, boots, and guns, and
Yeah.
all kinds of good stuff. So it was hard not to want to play with them.
Yep. I get it. I played with my brother and his G.I. Joes, so.
Heck yeah, there's just Barbie.
Yep.
And I would dress GI Joe just like Ken.
Well, there you go. I guess I never thought of that.
Be a little swap. He could be her other date.
There
So
you go. Yeah.
Barbie's home on Saturday. Forget that. Yeah, I still have the Barbies. I get them out now and then. Well, it goes back to just acknowledging your inner child.
Yep.
And yeah, I definitely do that. Because it's just fun to play with Hot Wheels and Barbies and stuff like that, and Beanie Babies and, fake Bob.
Yeah.
Bob. Bob vibrates. He's like a neck pillow. This one,
Oh, okay.
this Bob vibrates, and he, it's right in here. It's like a neck pillow. But
Uh-huh.
Bob loves this thing. He'll just put his face down on, where the vibrates stuff, and he just loves this thing, and I find it hilarious because he'll get where his ears are straight out, and he'll just get this dumbfounded look on his face. It's hilarious.
He's a good-looking cat. I've seen your picture of him.
Yeah.
He's a nice-looking cat.
Yeah, Bob's a good guy. He came to me when I needed him. I manifested him, and yeah, he's been a real blessing in my life. Honestly, I sometimes say I'm like, I don't even know why I have pets. They're just such a pain in the ass. But I wouldn't for anything. So
Yep. Nope.
you have cats, don't you?
We have 5 cats. Yep.
That's what I thought. 5 kids, 5 cats.
Yep. Three full black cats.
Yeah.
And then we have one that's mostly black, but she's like, her face is half tan, half black, and then she's just splashed with all the colors except white.
She's like a tortoise shell, kind of.
Yeah. And then we have my big chunky cat, Perry, who's all he does is eat and sleep, but he's like, I know he's my tiger is my spirit animal. Like that's my totem animal. And then I got this gray tiger cat, and he and I are just like, from the moment I picked him up from the pound, he never stopped purring.
Oh.
I mean, that cat, and I actually had an animal communicator. She was doing free readings, and she did a reading on him, and She says he's a very powerful spirit who's here to help me with my healing and everything. There you go, buddy. This is Perry. Oh, there's your toaster.
He is big. Oh my. Yeah, that's a cat.
Yeah, all he does is eat and then cry for more food. Buddy.
Sounds like Bob. Bob's always, every time I go in the kitchen, he's like, meow, meow.
Yeah. Nope, you're not getting my water.
He was wandering around last night and he does this meow, and I swear he says my name, you know. Well, he says like mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally believe they can do that.
Yeah. He's something else, I'll tell you what. I just I think he's my familiar, and he knows it, you know. It's like he knows he's been here before, you know. I guess it's like Bob is very self-aware for an animal, you know what I mean? And I can see it.
Right. Well, when I take Perry out onto the deck, like if it's a nice morning, I'll go out there and I'll pull my cards and pull my runes and, you know, drink my protein shake. And he'll try to go down the steps on the deck. And all I have to do is I say, you know, you're not supposed to go there. And he stops and his tail starts going and he gets so mad. But most of the time, he'll act more like a dog and he'll turn around and scream at me and walk back to me. I'm like, I swear that cat knows everything that I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, they do. I'm sure they do. So, hey, could you pull an oracle card for me real quick before we are the time here?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
And I'll kind of know what to do with the rest of my day.
Do you have a specific question, or because we have a ton of fairies in our woods out here, so I just like lots when I use these, I just ask the fairies of here what they want me to know.
Okay.
So what would you like to see?
Is there anything that the fairies think I should know? Or that I need to know to have a successful day today?
Get your butt out of the camera, dude.
That's so funny. You did too. Yes.
Come on. Yeah, everybody needed to see that.
You know, as a joke, they had these little jewels that you could round the tail, and the jewel fell right on their bunghole.
I know, but I'm like, imagine trying to clean those, because, ugh.
Yeah. I make them disposable.
Yeah. Okay, so you got the truce card.
Okay.
And looks like she's a what are those? Cattail fairy?
Cattails, yeah.
Yeah, and it says truce.
I live on marsh.
Ceasefire, resolve, and prosperity. And I've never actually, this is almost my newest deck, and I've never actually pulled this card, so I don't even know what it's about. Let's see. The Cattail Fairy has shown up to guide you toward harmonized communication and mutually beneficial resolution. Up until now, your desire to be right may have prevented an outcome with shared value. A standoff does not serve anyone. It's okay to agree to disagree, and now is the time to call a truce. Negotiate an arrangement that works for both parties and give way to the heart healing of forgiveness. Be the bigger fairy and make the first move. The cattail flower is a symbol of peace. This is the perfect flower to gift to a friend with whom you are having a conflict. Offer a sign of peace as a sincere and humble gesture of armistice. The power of peace can resolve a no-win situation. Peace creates ripples of prosperity as together everyone achieves more. The cattail fairies come together and contribute their individual gifts for the collective good. They dance, play, and work amongst the cattail flowers in tranquility. They move, think, and live in unity, respecting each other's unique contributions. Follow the fairy signs and stay in your lane. Detaching from unnecessary drama, victimhood, and competition is the key to harmony. Find and fly through new fairy doorways. Know that a productive and constructive outcome is coming in for you. This collaboration will open up co-creative alliances, support, and extraordinary opportunities. Everyone prospers.
Nice.
Yeah. So what I was totally getting from that is
everyone can prosper.
Yeah, I feel like you just are going to have a lot of opportunities coming where you can co-create with other people. And I don't know you that well, but you don't seem like a vindictive type person to me. You're more of that stay in your lane and let everybody do their own shit. So I don't really feel like that part. Sometimes when you're reading those, you have to kind of just take from it what does resonate.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just that, you're moving into this period of co-creation with the universe and with other people, and that's going to bring value to your life.
Hmm. That's great. And I think that's true for anyone, you know. Um, you have to be careful about who you let in your life, but when you find people who are, solid, good people, let them in,
Yeah,
see what happens and see what can be created and what good can come of it.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and we learn new things from different people. Like that's like a huge thing in my life is, just coming out of that stark Christianity and all of that. Sometimes like when you asked me to do the podcast with you, I was like, well, I'm not a ghost hunter. I see all of these people, they're hunting ghosts, and I just do the opposite. When I find a ghost, I clear it. That's like my job as a healer. And I'm like, they're all going to think I'm crazy or I'm not going to fit in. But then Spirit said, you know what? You don't have to be like everybody else. Everybody's job has value,
Hmm.
and you can learn new things. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But it was scary to me,
Yeah.
right? But then I would have missed this huge opportunity to sit here and be chatting with you and meeting new people and stuff. So
Yeah, it has been a super huge blessing to me as well to be on, and podcasting and meeting all these great people and, getting to work with people like you, and really just, you know, changing my life in better way, and for the better in many small ways. So,
yeah,
yeah.
we got to try new things or we'll just stay stagnant.
Yeah. And I think now too, especially like I'm over 50. So I got it's like if I don't try things and get out there and stick it out there and do the things that I've always wanted to do, I'm going to run out of time. I'm not going to have time to do anything. So
Right.
it's like wait for tomorrow with something that you could be doing today.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time to lay the procrastination aside.
It is. And that's what all the energies have been building up. Like I think like even like since COVID, it's like been this huge awakening and everybody's like going through like all of this releasing and everything. And it's because we don't have time anymore to sit around and just play.
Mm-mm.
We got to get out there and grab the things that we want and tell the universe what we want.
Yeah.
And so
It's
the thing is that you're not just sitting there having a good time, you're actually helping people
yeah.
because you're talking about topics. Your people be like, wow, I didn't know that, or I just needed to hear that from somebody today.
Yeah.
So it's reciprocal.
Simple as that. I needed to hear that from someone else today,
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've been thinking, but I didn't know if maybe I was just insane.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, it's a validation sometimes is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, we're at 58 minutes, and I don't know where our administrator's gone to. Um,
Oh
if she's
no.
here, she may be waiting in the wing somewhere. But if not, we're probably gonna sign off and just hope for the best. Oh, I don't not I just don't know where everybody's at right now. So let's see. Amanda Rogers says, "Hi, ladies. How are you all? Doing great, Amanda. Hope you are too." Anthony Lee says, "Mostly watch out for the buttholes as you build future." Good advice. Good advice. And then, she says, Amanda says, so very true. Oh, Nigel. Hey, Nigel, how you doing? And Kimmy Dawn says, hi, everybody. Hi, Debbie. Hey, Debbie. Okay. And then let's see. I think that's everybody that we had that had. Okay. I'm back. So anyway, I got all the comments caught up from everybody, and so there's one more in the chat here. Let's see. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Mandy says she's good. Thank you. And that's great. That's good to hear. And so, yeah, there we go. Oh, she's back. All right. So we can sign off.